To order. Let's start with roll call, please.
Councilmember LaRoche. Here. Councilmember Parsons. Here. Mayor Adams.
Here.
Councilmember Banks.
Here.
Councilmember Budashevsky.
Here.
Councilmember Deschler.
Here.
Councilmember Queiser.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Thank you. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have an agenda before us. I'm looking for a motion to approve that agenda. Nancy?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, looking for a second. Brendan?
I'll second.
All right, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, first having a appearance, I'm going to turn the mic over to our Chief Revering to proceed with this appearance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. If I could have Marie Stanky come up. So thank you again, Mayor and members of the council, for allowing me to present to you this evening. As you know, for the past several years, we have distributed what we call the Chief's Award to members of our community who assisted us with our jobs. Tonight, we have Marie Stanky here, along with, as you can see, her entourage of folks, and she'll be receiving the Chief's Award. On June 25th, 2020, at approximately 4:49 p.m., our officers were dispatched to a report of a male down in the driveway on the 3600 block of Douglas Drive. When we arrived, we observed what turned out to be a passerby, Marie, behind the male, holding him up in the sitting position. The male, who is Roger Pollock, who is also here tonight, who is disabled and was attempting to get out of his van when something malfunctioned on his wheelchair and threw him to the ground, where he suffered a large abrasion and was bleeding. First responders rendered aid to Roger, and Marie stopped and offered help to Roger and his wife, Suzanne. Marie offered to keep Suzanne company while Roger went to the hospital. Marie even called Roger and Suzanne to check in on them after he got home from the hospital. Because of her kindness, compassion, dedication to her community, and the fact that she stopped, there were several folks that did not stop. We are pleased to give Marie Stanky the Chief's Award. And I will not shake your hand, but I will do this.
Okay.
Here we go. You're very welcome. I don't know if the mayor and council...
Any words?
Yeah, if you could step by that microphone and Nancy, go ahead.
Okay, I live very close by to where this happened. I'm on 34th Avenue, and I'm just so proud that you stopped. And it's sad to hear that people were driving by, but how, what caused you to stop? I know it was probably in your heart to just help Roger, but.
Yeah, we were actually picking up my son from daycare, and we drove by, and I'm like, it looked like he was fixing his car. And then I'm like, well, there was a lunchbox over here, or a box, and then he was kind of just laying weird. I'm like, we need to turn around, and we need to go look. So then we turned around, and then I saw that he did need, in fact, help. So then I ran over there and helped him.
Thank you.
So.
And Roger, how are you doing?
Just fine.
Hey, awesome. Thank you.
He healed up nicely.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.
That was
Go ahead,
very,
Brendan.
very nice.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you because this is what makes Crystal special. And, you know, it's that community that we're always looking out for each other. And so I know you probably didn't do it for thanks, but just doing it because it's who you are. And so it's one of the things that makes me proud to say Crystal's home.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I'm glad we were there to help.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Marie. All right, and congratulations as well. And Roger, I'm glad to see you recovered. All right. So next we have our consent agenda. Let me read that into the record at this time. Approval of the minutes from the following meeting, the council work session from June 16th, and the council meeting minute on that same day, June 16th.
that the only thing on, nope, I missed a page. Second is a list of license applications submitted by the city clerk to the city council. That list is on file in her office. Then approval of a resolution accepting the donation of $250 from the Golden Valley VFW Post 7051 for the airport open house. Thank you for that donation. Julie appreciates it, and so do the rest of us. Approval of the appointment of Roycie, Eppler, and Terri Schultz to the Environmental Quality Commission, and Mary Cameron to the Employee Review Board. Approval of a resolution supporting Protect Community Television Act for CCX Media. Approval of a resolution amending the legal description of the previously vacated easement at 3501 Douglas Drive North. Looking for a motion on the consent agenda. Olga?
I move approval.
Thank you. Looking for a second. Therese?
I'll second.
Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion has passed
I have to abstain?
with one abstaining. Thank you.
Abstention?
Yep. All right, you got that?
Yes.
Next is open forum. Open forum, I'm going to read kind of what open forum is. Oftentimes I kind of breeze by this, but it's something that's underutilized, and I'm hoping that the community will use this more and more to have communication with this council. The city council appreciates hearing from citizens about items of concerns and desires to set a some time each meeting for open forum to provide ample opportunity for all. Speaking time is limited to 3 minutes, and a topic discussion is limited to 10 minutes. The mayor may, as presiding officer, extend total time allowed for the topic. By rule, no action may be taken on any item brought before the council during open forum. The council may place items of discussion during open forum on subsequent council meetings and agendas. Now, oftentimes we will go past 3 minutes. At some day, I would love to say we need to stick real tight to that 3 minutes because we have too many people wishing to speak. But today's not that day. So we're gonna use 3 minutes pretty loosely. Do we have a slip?
I do not, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, do you have that yellow slip? Okay. And you may step forward too. Yep. I'd like you to introduce yourself. In our practice is to have you state your address. You're welcome to do that, please.
Oh, sure. My address is 5355 Union Terrace Lane, Plymouth, Minnesota, 55442.
And your name?
My name is Diana DePoister.
Diana DePoister. All right. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me come and speak to you. Again, my name is Diana DePoister, and I am running for state representative here in the communities of Crystal, New Hope, and Eastern Plymouth. And I've tried to keep this to, I thought it was 4 minutes, so I'll try and be fast.
It's really going to be okay. Take your time. It's going to be okay.
Thank you. So I'm running for the open seat that Representative Lyndon Carlson has left open in his retirement. And so my family and I have lived in this community for 23 years. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, I've always had a strong sense of purpose. When I was 2 years old, my mom and dad had started a business. And back in the day when service stations, they would drive up and down the highways providing goods to sell at gas stations and restaurants. And my mom was driving the business truck that day, and it broke down. So she called my dad to rescue her. And he had that afternoon off, and I happened to be with him. But he actually had the forethought to drop me off at my grandmother's house. And somehow he knew that he should, because 20 minutes later he was dead, killed by a drunk driver. And so I've always believed that there was some purpose for my life that was beyond myself because it was spared at such a young age. A few years later, my mom met my stepdad, and he was a union man who drove a heavy equipment and helped to build roads and bridges and highways. And we were taught always to work hard, always use our manners, and to be respectful to our elders. And my mom taught me always to be able to take care of myself, be prepared, and never take life for granted. So growing up in a small farming community, and after I graduated from college, I spent 20 years in the financial services business, and that's where I met my husband, Andy. And this Saturday, we will celebrate 25 years together. So, gosh. We have 2 sons. Zachary is a senior at UMD, and Andrew is a senior in high school this fall. And we've raised our boys in the local public school district where I've been an active parent. I've been a volunteer. I've sat on councils and chairing committees and speaking about inclusion because my youngest son has Down syndrome. In fact, I've been an active volunteer in our schools, in our church, and all in our community. In fact, I've been a citizen volunteer at the state capitol for about 20 years, helping to write legislation and advocate for issues around adoption, insurance, medical privacy, and a whole lot more. I've been a leader on several nonprofit boards. I have a strong moral compass. I use common sense. I solve problems by bringing people around the table, and I just want to do what's right for people. I look forward to serving as a state legislator for Crystal, New Hope, and Plymouth. Again, my name is Diana DePoyster. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Now, I know she's got another appointment, so she'll probably be taking off. So thank you for coming in and speaking with us. It's nice to put a face to a name, and that's great. All right, anybody else wishing to speak during open forum? Looking for people wishing to speak during open forum. Nobody approaching, nobody raising their hand. Nobody on the phones, I presume, Matt? Okay. We will close open forum and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is a public hearing. The purpose is to receive comment and council consideration of a new off-sale license, liquor license for, what is it, Clever Liquor at 5120 Bass Lake Road. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, Chrissy is here to address us, our city clerk.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Mr. Clever Sanchez has applied for an off-sale liquor license to do business as Clever Liquor at 5120 56th Avenue. The required application documents have been provided and processed. Mr. Sanchez has recently closed on the property and anticipates opening near the end of July. A hearing notice was published in the Sun Post on July 9th. Thus far, no correspondence has been received in regards to the new license. Mr. Sanchez is here this evening via Zoom along with Mr. Reichert and available to address the council with any questions you may have. Hello, Mr. Reichert, and hello, Mr. Sanchez. Nice to see you in person. Staff is recommending approval of the liquor license for Clever Liquor, and this concludes my report. And at this point, Mr. Mayor, I will turn it over to you for public input.
All right. First question, any questions for Chrissy from the council? All right, seeing none. I guess at this point, we do open the public hearing for testimony if there's anybody here wishing to testify on behalf of this topic. Anybody here wishing to testify? Last chance. Seeing nobody approach, I will close the public hearing. Next, Mr. Reichert. Where's Mr. Sanchez? Oh, there he is. Okay. Thank you. This is where the council will ask you questions if they have any. Council, do you have any questions for either of these gentlemen? Go ahead, Nancy.
I might beat John to this one because you tend to ask when a new business comes in, but in particular to this one, Clever and James, we've been really working hard to keep our age, the liquor licenses active for everybody and minimize violations, and wondered if you have been approached by Stephanie, I bet you have, about training for checking IDs.
For your staff.
For your staff.
We are aware of the training. I have not been specifically approached by Stephanie.
Okay, we offer free training, right, Stephanie? Yes, we do. Once a year, is it? Or so that's something to be aware of. But we want to welcome you, but we also want to help protect you as well as our citizens with responsible sales.
No, Trevor, I will encourage Trevor and his wife to get in touch and set up an appointment.
Thank you so much. That would be great.
All right.
We have like a train whistle sound in here. Is that a?
There's a little bit of
It's the
feedback.
hamster on the
Feedback?
computer. Yeah, well,
Not
Yeah,
quite
that's,
sure.
sorry to break in, everybody. This is Matt. Mr. Sanchez, if you want to turn down the volume or your speaker volume, that might stop the feedback one. I just muted your speakers or your microphone again.
Okay.
All right. All right, yeah, we're always interested in supporting new businesses. We want to have all our properties filled, the best they can. But it's always with the concern that Nancy talked about, making sure that you understand that there will be checks, periodic checks, and we don't want to see you back here on that basis. And it's important that you do everything you can to protect the youth from being served. And that's just something that we really want to emphasize at this stage of the game, because hopefully we don't get to see you here in this council or chambers really ever again as it relates to your business license. So we're doing our best to impress upon you the importance of the responsibility it is for you to be giving alcohol or selling alcohol in Crystal, and how seriously we take it. So other than that, we want to welcome you to Crystal, and we hope that you're successful in your business ventures. We hope for the success for both of you and your families associated, and we just wish the best for you. Are there any other questions? Nancy's got one.
Yeah,
Nancy.
a quick question, a couple of them. At 5120 56th Avenue North, can you tell us where that's located next to, or a street, cross street, so people know where you are?
I think the cross street is Bass Lake Road.
Okay.
So the way Ann told me is it's on the curve.
Oh, it's on the curve, thank you.
It's that
People know how to
location.
find you. And when do you plan to open?
Matt, his microphone is still off. There we go. Clever. They were asking when you wanted to open.
All right. Thanks everybody for giving me the opportunity to speak, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to run my business. I'm trying to open as very much soon as I can get my license. I hope I can get approved. And but we kind of ready to open. And then I want to welcome everybody to maybe come to my liquor store and grab a water or Coke on me. I want to thanks for everything. But as soon as we can, that'll be perfect.
Okay, thank you, and good luck to you.
I get that. As soon as we can. All right, anybody else? All right, that's all. Oh, John, go ahead.
I'll make a motion.
All right, go ahead, John.
Make a motion. Oh, wait a second. You want to jump on this one?
I'll second.
Okay.
No, yeah, you call
So
on
Ward
call
four,
on-
I gotta-
Ward
You know,
4, yeah. You probably,
I don't know what's up with you guys. I call on you and you want to give it away. Go ahead, John.
I make a motion to approve the off-sale liquor license for Clever Liquor located at 5120 Bass Lake Road.
Okay, thank you. Julie?
And I will second that.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Council, I would like to just commend you on the excellent city clerk that you have working for you. Her assistance was invaluable in this process, and I think you have an outstanding employee in Ms. Sears.
Well, thank you for that, James, and we agree.
We agree.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
Good night.
Yep, good night.
Welcome to Crystal,
Thank you.
Ward 4.
Yep, the business will be in Ward 4. That's
Yeah.
right. All right, next we have another public hearing to receive comment and council consideration for a resolution vacating the defined right-of-way for a land exchange with the Metropolitan Airport Commission. We have our Public Works Director, Mark Ray, here to address the council. Welcome, Mark.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Sorry, I'm laughing. Hopefully, we don't have liquor violations, because then you see the mean side of Chrissy come out. So the item before here, we actually discussed back at a work session, I believe in June. It's basically a proposed land rights exchange with the Metropolitan Airport Commission. this originally came up as part of the Phase 16 project to try to improve some drainage stuff. Unfortunately, it didn't work at that time. We've been continuing to be persistent with them, trying to find opportunities. Matt, if you want to go to the slide, let's just say 3 at this point. The stuff highlighted in red is what we're giving to MAC. The stuff in yellow is what the city will be getting out of this. And functionally, it looks like it's a much smaller area we're getting, but it's actually useful to us, where the red is useless at this point in time. Next slide. So the items before you are to hold a public hearing, because we are eventually releasing city right-of-way and easements. And then the resolution is authorizing staff to start the actions to prepare legal descriptions and other documents necessary to make the transfer official. Once that is done, that'll come back before you for final approval. So the core of tonight is really the public hearing part of it, and then we'll come back, I'm hoping in August, to deliver this deal. With that, are there any questions?
Questions from the council? Go ahead, Nancy.
Oh, no.
Julie.
I am so sorry.
There was a reflection in the glass. It's all good.
Julie.
And this land, swap, is that at some point going to mitigate some of the water?
So
Just
that's
for the residents that live in that area, and you know who they are.
Yep.
I just want to.
This is the setup for that.
Setup for that.
Yep. So the issue is we never have rights to where we need to do work to get the water to go. So this gives us the right to do that work, and then we'll work with the airports on size of pipes, because they're obviously concerned they don't want to get inundated with water. So we'll work with them.
Right.
And then basically it's that top left yellow circle is really where that drainage issue is. And so once we get we're good on the size of the pipe, we'll figure out a project, get it in the stormwater plan, and get it done.
And the residents that, this is really concerning to, are they familiar yet with this project happening?
So really at this point, there's no project.
Okay.
This is just
But
land
there's a
rights
whole-
that we've talked about that we're not giving up on.
Okay.
Once it becomes a project, we will do some notification there, but
Okay.
there's no timeline for that at this point in time.
All right. Olga, did you have a question?
No,
No?
I didn't.
All right. Well, yeah, this is a huge step. This is a step that I didn't think I'd see in my time. It's just,
You're not the only one.
It's just, I'm so excited for this, and it's there's no understating how valuable that is for what we're trading. Even
Probably
though-
picked up on my sentiments.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Sure. So, no other questions?
I had a question. So
Trace.
no money is exchanging hands, you just,
Correct. There's no money exchange. The only thing we're doing is we're splitting the costs to develop the legal descriptions and all the documents needed for this exchange.
Because there's no legal description, it's just part of MAC, right?
There will be shortly, correct.
Right. All right. If there's nothing else from the council, I will open the public hearing. Is there anybody wishing to give testimony on behalf of this issue? Looking for anyone wishing to give testimony on behalf of this issue? Seeing no one approach, I will close the public hearing. And looking for council action, Julie.
I would make a motion authorizing the land exchange with the Metropolitan Airports Commission.
All right, thank you. Olga?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. Regular agenda. First item on that is the disbursements of $25,000 or greater. I will read that into the record. Bear with me. I have a pretty long page here. Central Roofing Company for Community Center Skylights. Roof repair for $118,801. Floor Coat Midwest LLC for manhole repair project costs of $65,870. Logis for monthly application support and server hosting and fiber to the Joint Water Commission lift of $43,977. The West Metro Fire Rescue District for June contributions of $106,380. Minnesota Para for employee city contributions for pay date 6/12/20 of $65,000. $937. Center for Energy and Environment for Home Improvement Loan Program costs, $31,576. Central Roofing Company for Community Center skylight and roof repair, $39,600. Golden Valley Joint Water Commission for May water costs, $167,392. League of Minnesota Cities for workers' compensation insurance premiums, $99,407. Metropolitan Council Environmental Services for wastewater for July, $137,128. Northdale Construction Company for utility reconstruction project, $109,282. Park Construction Company Mill and Overlay Project, payment number two, $1,136,606. Minpera for another employee city required contribution for pay date 6/26, 2020, $59,073. Core and Main LP for census base station purchase, that's for $25,445. Key West Drilling Company for the for the JWC pump replacement project, that's $73,340. Logis for monthly application support and server hosting for fiber and Joint Water Commission lift for $33,301. Tenvorda? I don't know how to pronounce that. Tenvord Ford. Hey, it rhymes. I should have figured that out. Replacement PD vehicle number 202 and 203, $66,251. West Metro Fire Rescue District for July contributions to West Metro Fire, $106,380. Wold Architects and Engineers for new public safety building project costs, otherwise known as the police station, $56,157. Waste Management for May HRG recycling costs, $51,662. Minnesota Para for another employee city required contribution, pay date 7/10/2020, $59,454. Health Partners for July health insurance premiums, $110,937. Total disbursements of $25,000 or greater is $2,763,962.38. Looking for questions from the council. Nancy?
I'm sure this is just a simple procedural one, but I noticed there were a couple duplications of items like Logis and Minpera. Is that June and July, or is it broken up by half a month, or how is it?
Correct, they're months. Or different, on the PERA ones, they're by payroll, and then Logis is by month.
Okay, so when there were two listed here for the same thing.
One would be June and July, or May and June.
Okay, great, thank you.
It sort of is where the meetings, where the council meetings fall.
Yeah.
And then checks are issued.
Okay.
Yeah, we had an extended period of time between our last council meeting, so it just worked out. Oftentimes you'll see two pay dates, but this time we managed to get three stuck in between there. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Just like sometimes we have three pay dates for the people going every 2 weeks in 1 month, so. This year we got in this little stretch of time extra. All right, any other questions? I do. Let's see. The census base station purchase, I kind of want to know what that is. I don't know what that means.
Census is our water meter, and so when you approve relocating the water meter, I've assumed that's what it is.
So is that the company name then?
Correct.
Okay, got it. And the Key West Drilling Company, the JWC pump replacement, that's not for a well, that's for like a lift station, correct?
That's for the Crystal Pump House is what that's for. And I think the important thing to know on that's actually getting reimbursed by the Joint Water Commission. So don't forget that we're basically a conduit for that one.
Okay.
So we're passed through, and so was the fiber optic to the North Tower. That'll be another one that we're just a pass through, so that'll be reimbursed to us by the Joint Water Commission.
Does that include the Logis for that as well? Third item?
I can't see it. So
yeah, no, it's the fiber
not
lift
sure.
station. Yeah, it probably does. That's part of the
Yeah, so one of the fibers of the lift station is for our west lift. The one to the north tower is the one being reimbursed by JWC.
Okay. So that low just numbers a combination of joint water commission and regular
And
stuff?
monthly, right, monthly,
Okay.
our monthly cost, correct.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions from the council? Thank you, Mark, for answering those questions. Looking for a motion on this. Brendan?
I make a motion to approve the disbursements greater than 25,000.
All right, thank you. Looking for a second. Olga?
I'll second that.
All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right. How do we handle that procedure
What's that?
with Nancy stepping out?
I think we can continue on.
We'll just continue. All right. Next item is the council considering a resolution authorizing the execution of a sub-grant agreement with the state of Minnesota for flood mitigation project. Mark's
Here we
here to
go.
talk about that. Go ahead, Mark.
All right, so as we discussed, really over the last couple months here, the Brownwood Pond expansion is currently in the stormwater long-term plan for 2022. Earlier this year, the council already approved the design work as part of the entire Central Core stormwater project. Actually, a couple of years ago, we were working with state staff to try to identify potential funding sources with mitigation money, because this Brownwood Pond expansion is intended to try to mitigate flooding. We have finally identified one and brought the two projects into alignment on a timeline standpoint. So there's a potential funding source, which would be 25% local city costs, 75% federal money. The two-phase approach, basically the first one is we have to develop a cost-benefit ratio for this project. So is the investment that the federal government would make basically offset the benefit of the homes we're potentially not flooding? So phase one is to figure that out. If that's a favorable number, then we can apply for phase two, which is that same cost share, but applied to construction. So this project is a $750,000 project. Theoretically, the city could pay 25% of that cost then, where the federal government picking up the 75% of that number. The action tonight is actually required as part of our application package. So at this point, if you approve it tonight, we're gonna ship the package off. It will then go through the system to be reviewed. And in a few months, I've been told, we'll hear back if it was even approved. At that point is when we will then start to spend the potential 25% to do this phase one cost benefit analysis. So it seems a little weird because you're authorizing a grant application that says we'll do work, but we haven't even been approved to do the work on their end. So that's why it's a little confusing, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Matt, next slide. So as a reminder, this is where the project is. We have the 4 ponds through the city. It's kind of number 2, just south of 42nd Avenue there. Next slide. So with that, again, the motion tonight is approve the resolution authorizing the grant agreement that I will then include in the package that we submit to the state, that then actually goes on to FEMA for review, which we'll get a response in a few months, is what I've been told. Are there any questions?
Questions for Mark? None. I think it's worth a shot, right?
At this point, yeah, I mean, other than my sanity, we have nothing to lose.
Right. Okay.
Worth it.
That's just like slow pitch.
So
softball.
true.
I just gotta leave that one alone. All right. Looking for a motion on this. John?
I make a motion authorizing the sub-grant agreement with the state of Minnesota.
All right, thank you. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Therese, thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, next is the council will, thank you, Mark. The council will consider 2 resolutions regarding purchases for North Lions Park. John Elholm, our recreation director, is here to address the council. Welcome, John.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor, council
evening.
members. I'm told I can't touch anything up here, so But tonight, I'm here to talk about a couple of projects we have coming up, somewhat tied to grants. The first one is at North Lions Park. This is one of those projects that really came out of the Park System Master Plan, talking about how do we want to handle winter recreation moving forward. And really the thought was let's try to group our winter recreation in our larger community parks. So one of the recommendations was to add a hockey rink at North Lions Park. It would complement the existing sliding hill, warming house, and utilize those parking lots that are there. And it would also replace some hockey rinks that have recently been removed in the cities, both at Broadway Park and Iron Horse Park. So this, the area in the green is the area where the winter recreation would occur. Shows the new hockey rink. There would be leisure skating. There's a warming house there, and then the sledding hill as well.
Okay.
So the city budgeted in our capital program some funds for this project. We were successful in receiving a Hennepin County Youth Sports Grant of $50,000, as well as a Community Development Block Grant of $57,429. Go ahead, Matt. So the first items to purchase out of that are those items that we order, and they have a little bit of a longer lead time. So tonight we're looking to purchase the hockey rink lighting system and the dasher board system, with the caveat that the Community Development Block Grant has not fully had all the boxes checked on that, so we are not able to actually place the order until some more of those boxes are checked. So this is just getting this ready so that we can order it as soon as the block grant is ready to go. So with that, tonight we're looking for approval of two resolutions, one with Musco Sports Lighting in the amount of $40,065 for the hockey rink lighting system, and with Becker Arena Products in the amount of $30,795.68 for the hockey rink dasher board system. And again, both purchases are contingent upon grant requirements being fulfilled.
All right, thank you, John. Any questions for John? Go ahead, Julie.
So would this ice rink be ready to use next winter, or is this for a couple of years down the road?
No, our hope is to get it in before this winter.
This winter?
Mm-hmm. That's why getting the approval now so we can order right away when the grant gets
And then,
completed.
I guess I should probably go look at it, but in the past, there's been a bunch of well, not a bunch, but a couple of residents in that area where I think that they wanted like basketball courts moved or something because the noise level was pretty intense. How far away is the skating rink from, especially if they're whacking pucks around and stuff?
Yeah, so there's houses, and then most of them have a privacy fence in the back. Then there's a fairly wide swath of grass, then a trail, and then the hockey rink.
And then the lights are off at 10?
Correct.
Okay.
And they are LED lights so that they can focus in better than what the older style lights are.
I think it would be a great improvement for the park. So I'm not opposed to it, but I just feel if there's any questions, I want to be able to answer them for the residents.
Nancy?
No, I'm Julie.
Julie?
John, what is a dasher board system? Because the hockey rinks near me at Valley Place Park, it's just those nice planks, those cedar planks.
Yeah,
Is that similar?
It's a wooden system,
Okay.
the wooden boards.
Okay. Dasher sounded fancy, I just thought.
Yeah, and there are fancier, more expensive systems. This is a pretty basic system,
Okay.
but it has served us very well over the years.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, they feel the same,
They do. Okay.
regardless of the name.
I did have one more question.
Julie, go ahead.
And then when they have warming houses, there is a staff person in attendance at the warming houses to monitor the activity?
Yeah, whenever the building is open, there's a staff person there.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, John. Looking for a motion on this? Julie?
I'll make a motion. I will make a motion for a resolution in support of purchasing a hockey dasher board system for North Lions Park. Can I do both of them at one time? And the hockey rink lighting system for North Lions Park?
I think that's good. I want a nod from the attorney. Sure. You got them both in one. Looking for a second. John?
Second, both motions.
On one motion.
Did you do it all in one, or what?
Yeah, he
We're
said
doing it
yes.
in one motion.
The attorney said we're good to go.
All right, second the motion.
Second the one motion. All right. Any other questions? Last chance. Seeing none, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The one motion for the two items. That's it. All right. John's
I'm not going
not moving
anywhere.
because he's got the next item as well. That is to consider the play area at Fair School.
All right, this is another project that really floated to the top during the master planning process. The playground at Fair School is in really bad condition. It's in a poor location. And so we began working with the school district a couple years ago. The way this site is set up is the school district owns the land. We operate it cooperatively with them. So we've got some agreements in place for that. But like I say, it was built in 1999. The plan is to move it to a more usable location. And then the overall plan for the park is to replace the softball fields with a soccer field. The school expressed a desire, as they move more to being a middle school or junior high school, to have a after-school official soccer team. And
Yes.
they really don't have a good field there.
Yes.
So,
Sorry, I have.
it's okay.
I don't have to drive. Means we won't have to drive all the way down by the airport to play soccer games for my son. That's why I keep saying yes. Sorry.
So the goal was to do all of it together. So last fall, we applied for a Hennepin Youth Sports Grant to do the soccer field, the playground, and get the whole thing done at once. They came back and said, this is a great project, but we can't fund it this round, but we encourage you to apply for a playground grant in the spring, and then a grant for the soccer field later on. So we were in talks with the youth sports, do the playground grant. So we applied for the playground grant, and then COVID-19 came, and then the application deadline got pushed back. And then all summer, I call them about every week or two and say, what's the status of the grant? So it's looking more like they're gonna award them in the fall or kind of include it as part of that project. But with the school district funding, which starts July 1, and our funding for the 2002 year, our funding is lining up for the second half of this year. So in talking to the school district, and actually the play area manufacturer, we're like, okay, let's assume we don't have the grant. I'm gonna, next slide, Matt. So assuming we don't have the grant, we're about $6,000 more than what we had planned on. But the play area manufacturer had decided to lower the price by $5,000, and then we worked with the school district to see if we could just split the cost and just get this thing done. So, and then the school district did not have additional funds for playgrounds, but they do have additional funds to help put the sidewalk in. So we've been working very closely with the school district and the play area manufacturer, and I think this is a package that is a good package to move forward with. So the playground equipment and installation is $255,799. It had been $260, but like I say, the playground manufacturer is working with us on this, as is the school district. So our recommendation is to move forward with an agreement with Landscape Structure, Inc. This is the same company that did the Becker Park Playground, to provide and install a playground at Fair School Park in the amount of $255,798.96.
All right. Go ahead, Brennan.
I didn't have a question. I was excited to make a make a
Are you
motion.
still saying yes?
But if there's conversation.
Did you have a question?
Yes, so when I was at the open house for Fair School, so the design that the playground company showed is the design that's gonna be put.
Correct.
So, and they just lowered the price.
Right.
Because at that time, we talked about different options, I guess, or whatever, so it's just nice to hear that playground, the original design is what they kept.
Right, and that was a lot of the reason for recommending to go this route is there has been a lot of public input on this design.
Yep.
So to go back and retool it, for as close as it is, we thought it'd be more beneficial to just move forward. And like I say, the goal is to get it done before school comes back, if it comes back this fall.
All right. All right, Brendan?
Yes, can I make a statement then?
Yep, go ahead.
Well, one, I'm excited when I see working with the school district to get, the cooperation, to get something that's gonna enhance the fair neighborhood. And yes, I may be a little biased because I live around the corner and one of my children goes to school there. And then I think even with being the diligence, with the funding sources, that this is still a good feasible cost, but you're still pursuing the grants that could possibly come back later. So with that, I would like to make a motion to support the resolution in support for purchasing a playground for Fair School Park.
All right, thank you. I'm going to second that. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Sorry to throw you all off. That doesn't happen very often. All right. Next, we will consider second reading of an ordinance of the Unified Development Code and the resolution authorizing summary publication. John Sutter is here to talk to the council on this item. Welcome, John.
Hi, thank you, Mayor, council members. Because we covered this in detail at the first reading, I wasn't planning on going through the slideshow again, but we would be happy to do so if you like. But the main thing to take away from these UDC amendments are two policy changes. One would be that we'd be reducing the minimum lot size for two-family dwellings from 12,000 to 10,000 square feet. And the second would be that we are eliminating the per unit requirement from the maximum density limits. And then there are a number of other changes that are more clarifications or corrections. So with that, at your request, we can go to the slideshow. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I don't need the slideshow. Does anybody else? All right. Any questions for John? All right. I do have a discussion. I think last time we talked about this, I talked about the parking spaces for preschool. And what I'm going to do is do a motion excluding number 7, the number of parking spaces for preschools. And the reason I'm going to do the motion like that is because it felt like we were doing a regulation for the sake of regulating. In terms of the stated problem that it's trying to fix, I feel lies more with the private business than it does with the city. Preschools are private, or if they're related to District 281, that's an independent 281 district. And I just don't think it's rational for us to pile on additional requirements. I think that's something that can be regulated either by the business itself or the school district. So with that, I'd like to, let's see, what are we doing here? I'd like to put in a motion revising the ordinance, Chapter 5, the Crystal City Code related to the Unified Development Code, excluding number 7. And I'm hoping that somebody would second that.
Can you clarify what 7 is? I'm not finding.
7 is, it's on page 3.
Oh, page 3, I'm sorry. I was
Page
digging in
3 of
deeper.
4.
There it is. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So looking for a second on that.
I'll second your motion.
Thanks, Therese.
Mr. Mayor.
All right, any questions? I'll give you guys a chance to, go ahead, Nancy.
What happens then after this, if it's approved? Do we go back and just revise that and then come back and approve the Unified Code, Development Code with that change? Are we going to hold on?
change, could you address that, please?
Sure, Mr. Mayor and Council. As I understand the motion, it's essentially to amend the ordinance before you. So if this motion passes, or I guess either way, the ordinance will still be in front of you for adoption this evening. It'll just be with the amendment or not, depending on the outcome of the motion.
Okay.
Okay, clear? All right, we have a, go ahead, Troy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. You have a second.
I do have a second,
Okay.
yep.
So, Mr. Mayor, I may have missed this, but I was scrolling through where the ordinance itself.
It's on page 25.
Right, and in looking at that, the new language is schools, and the new language is nursery or preschool. Is your intent, Mr. Mayor, to strike both nursery and preschool, or just preschool?
Correct, both.
Both, okay. I just want to be clear on that.
All right, any further questions? Seeing none, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Banks.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Nay.
Councilmember Deschler.
Nay.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Councilmember Parsons.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-2.
All right, thank you for that. And then I'll just go ahead for the second one. Resolution approving summary language for publication of the ordinance, same ordinance. Looking for, okay, hold on a second.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry. My understanding was the motion was just to amend, not to adopt with the amendment. So I may have misheard you, but the way I understood it and the way I just attempted to explain was that now you have the ordinance in front of you with that amendment. So that language is now gone from
Oh, so
from
we
the
need another
ordinance.
vote too.
And so there would be amendment or a
Thank
motion on the
you.
ordinance.
Sorry about that, guys. All right. The next one is to pass the amended motion.
Correct.
Go ahead, Olga.
I'll make the motion to approve the amended motion that just passed.
Ordinance. The
Ordinance, considering second reading of the amended ordinance, amending the Unified Development Code and adoption of a resolution approving summary language of the ordinance for publication.
Thank you, Olga. Nancy?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Nay.
Councilmember Deschler.
Nay.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Councilmember Parsons.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Banks.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-2.
All right. Thank you. That is the last item on our regular agenda.
Nope.
Oh, now the summary resolution. Counting to 2, and I got to 2, and there's actually 3 votes. All right, resolution for summary. Go ahead, Olga.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution approving summary language for publication of ordinance number 2020-03.
All right, thank you. Nancy?
I'll second.
Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Deschler.
Nay.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Councilmember Parsons.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Banks.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Nay.
Motion carries 5-2.
All right. Now that ends our regular agenda. Next, we have some announcements. First, the community open house is Thursday, July 23rd from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Crystal Community Center to learn about potential development for the 53-unit apartment building at 5240 West Broadway. Primary election is Tuesday, August 11th. Polls are open at 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Polling locations can be found at pollfinder.sos.state.mn.us. That's the Secretary of State website, starting with Poll Finder. Absentee voting by mail is available by requesting a ballot at crystalmn.gov. Next council meeting is Tuesday, August 18th at 7 p.m. here at the Crystal City Hall. Reminder that Crystal Council meeting work sessions are open to the public and can be viewed or listened to on our website at crystalmn.gov. Reminder for neighborhood block parties are still allowed. Even though that neighborhood night to night is not happening, you may still have a neighborhood party. If you'd still like to do that, feel free to contact staff. Just let them know when, where, and whether you need barricades or not. And as far as voting, I encourage people to vote in person at the polls. I think there's still some things that, there are still some custody issues that happen through the mail. Also relating to voting, we are still looking for
Election judges.
So if you're interested in being an election judge for November, we're very interested in having you so that we can properly staff that to handle that. Are there any other announcements? Julie?
I just have a question. Well, I thought that the night to night was moved to October.
Oh, that's right, correct. It has been.
So we are still having one, but it's October
Yeah.
for now.
At least right now.
And if you're going to have an outdoor one, it's gonna be almost dark by then. So we gotta remember that if you want to enjoy the weather and still have a block party, you're welcome to do so. Chief, you have something to say?
Yep, the Minnesota Night Unite has been moved to October 6th, which is the first Tuesday in October.
Yep.
That's a
So-
good point, though. It will be dark fast.
It will be dark fast, so some people are still wishing to have their neighborhood gathering, whether it be that night or a different night, so they can do that. They can do that. All right, Nancy.
It wasn't in the announcements, and it's also the same night as the community open house, after the open house, but there's a city council primary candidate forum for Ward 4 coming up on Thursday, July 23rd from 7 to 8 p.m. at Crystal City Hall. Ward 4 is in Northern Crystal, and there will be no audience participation due to CDC guidelines. I don't know what that means as far as people can come and sit and watch, or if it's a Zoom meeting.
I believe it's closed. I believe it is just a Zoom meeting.
It's a Zoom meeting, but
That's
something.
my understanding.
Okay, very good. So if people want more information, I would do a Google search for League of Women Voters or Chrissy.
Go ahead, Chrissy.
Councilmember LaRoche, it is not a Zoom meeting.
Oh, it is not?
No. The League of Women Voters are coming in and allowing the candidates to make a statement, and then it's a very short procedure or process.
Oh, will they be asking questions, do you know?
No, the league, I spoke with the League, Joanne from the League of Women Voters this morning, and she said that it would not be a Q&A, and they would just be making statements during this
Interesting.
unusual time.
Okay, well, thanks for the clarification.
Will it be televised?
Yes, CCX will be televised.
We'll be here Thursday to, okay.
Correct, yes.
Do we know how long the statement will be from each candidate?
I believe they are allowing about 4 minutes per candidate.
So it will be pretty short. Name, background, that's all you get. No. All right.
And that's the only really offices in Crystal that are up on the ballot?
For the primary.
Councilmember Deschler, for the primary, correct, yep.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Looking for a motion to adjourn? Brendan?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you. Looking for a second? John?
So moved.
All right, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Have a great week. We'll see you next month. This is our last one of the month. See you next month.
Yep.
All right.
EDA.